Fun isn't something one considers when doing DBQs, but this definitely puts a smile to my face. Greetings and welcome, fellow fans of pop culture and APUS history students, and welcome to Making APUSH Fun, only here on Mr. G's Pop Culture Academy. And first, let me explain myself a little bit. First of all, as you might have guessed, I'm a major science fiction fan, pop culture fan, and I'm also an APUS history teacher and a public historian who has made this channel to help you folks, APUS history students, improve your craft as professional historians, because oh boy, we need a lot of professionally trained historians out there. And purpose of this video is to improve your skills on the APUS history test, and there's other ways in which you can use your historical interpretation skills in a wide variety of ways. So with that said, if you are auditing this video, which is to say you're not registered but would like to be, please register by clicking the subscribe button down there. And also, if there's any other components on the APUS history test you want me to address, please let me know. I am an Oregon History Teacher of the Year 2021. A lot of my APUS history materials have been bought all around the world, and I just want to help you in the best way possible. So please let me know. I'm launching this video series with handling document-based questions, because first of all, real quick, I am willing to bet that AP US History and AP World DBQs are probably the hardest thing you will ever have to do in a high school social studies class. Guaranteed. They are difficult. Being given 7 documents and being asked to create a research paper in an hour using preferably 6, but at least 3 of them, that's a little crazy, folks. That's even nuts. And I'm Thanos today. So with that said, I'm here to show you how, using the Infinity Stones, to break down handling each of the 6 documents, or 7, to make them work for you. That way you can give them the snap. So let's take a look at our document today. Let's take a look at the document in this video. And it's a very famous document, folks. As you can see here, it comes from period 3. It comes from the American Revolution. Now, really quick, let's take a look at what we have here with our stones, because you got to use the stones, folks, to make the document go away, to make the entire DBQ go away. So with that said, the first stone that you use is the space stone. And think of the space stone as attaching the document to your thesis. Now, a lot of teachers have various kinds of historical analysis tools. I personally use Persia. As you can see here, politics, economics, religious trends, innovation, and art. Now, I am planning on doing a series of channels in which you can apply Persia factors to things that you care about, things like sports, things like pop culture. But for this particular topic, we have to deal with this thing right here. So with that in mind, in this case, because we got a bunch of people roughing up a tax collector who's just doing his job, I'm going to assume, or rather assign, economics to this document. So I used the space stone here. I used the space stone and moved it to my thesis, economic factors. The next thing you do is you establish the reality of the document. Think of that as your description, the reality stone. So in this situation, you have a painting. That's part of the description, folks. Remember, the citation is your friend when handling this. All the information that you need to go and get all the stones and have your destiny arrive all come from the citation first. So this is a painting. We want to include that in our citation, or rather our description. But we need to go a little bit more. So it is a painting of an individual, poor unfortunate soul, wait, that's the wrong villain, who is being tarred and feathered. And if we were to guess, there's a group in the American colonies that deals with tarring and feathering. Who's in the tarring and feathering business? The Sons of Liberty. So we're going to include that, folks. The Sons of Liberty, tarring and feathering an individual. We have those two things here, and we have two of the stones, folks. Two of the stones right there. So let's keep going. A running joke in my AP US history class, folks, is that Pov Perconia factors, you might know them as Hippo or something else, are kind of like infinity stones. Being able to use evidence and your own analysis to describe the purpose, point of view, context, or intended audience of the document. And this is where the Thanos thing came in, folks. I, for years, talked about how difficult they are. I likened them to Infinity Stones when Avengers Infinity War came out. And now that I have won my award, Oregon History Teacher of the Year, my family was kind enough to get me one of these. And now I have this for my students where if they can fully Pov Perconia a document, they get to wear this glorious gauntlet and do the snap. Also have an Iron Man one. So with that in mind, folks, let's take a look at the Power Stone here. The Power Stone is kind of the point of view, folks. That's what we got right here with this stone here. Now, a lot of people tend to struggle with how point of view works. What is point of view? How I teach it is two strategies here. What is the topic? What is the issue? That's the first step. And the second step is, where does the author stand on the issue? Two-step process there, folks, two-step process. So in this particular case, we are dealing with taxation. You have this idea of a tax collector in the forefront. That's how we can tell it's dealing with the issue of taxation in the colonies and colonial protest. That's the top part. That's the first step of establishing point of view. What's the issue? We got it. It's colonial taxation. The next step deals with where the author stands on the issue. That might be a little tricky, which is why I picked this painting, because it is so clear once you know what to look for, where the author stands on the issue. Now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's a super secret, even more secret than where the Soul Stones is. When dealing with political cartoons, whoever is depicted as being not human, the author is anti-them. So let's take a look at this painting here. We got a guy that looks like a chicken. That's not what I mean by not looking human. Take a look at the Sons of Liberty. Now, when I do this with my students, we have this situation where they take a look and they say, they look like trolls, they look like goblins, they look bad. So that's the first step. We can tell that the author of this painting is anti Sons of Liberty because the Sons of Liberty themselves look like trolls. On top of that, take a look at the stamp collector. This is just a guy doing his job, folks. I know I have my opinions about taxes. If you are a student, you're going to have opinions about taxes too when you get old enough to pay for them. But in this situation, the tax collector looks super sympathetic. He's looking at you folks the way I look at my administrators when they tell me I have to do 2 staff meetings in a week. I just go, oh, help me, dear God, help me. In this situation, folks, that's another detail that you can cite because you do have to explain with evidence what the author's point of view is. So we got 2 things there. The third thing, take a look at the tree. Yeah, they are not going to do nice things to that tax collector. So we can very clearly tell that the author is anti Sons of Liberty because he's painting this description of somebody who is a tax collector just doing his job. And that's the issue, is tax collecting and taxation in the colonies. And the author is very clearly against the Sons of Liberty because they look like trolls. The tax collector looks sympathetic by comparison. And on the flip side, they're about to hang him. So that's how you get the point of view. That's how you get your point of view, folks. Now, we got to get to the purpose. We got to get to the soul stone. Now, here's the good thing about purpose, folks. Unlike the soul stone, you don't got to sacrifice the thing you love most to get it. It's one of the easiest things that you can do, purpose. Now, this brings up a good opportunity, folks. While you're analyzing documents, because remember, according to College Board, you got to analyze 3 of them. 3, preferably 3. Now, purpose is one that can easily blend in with another Pov-Franconia factor or another stone. So what I have my AP US history students do is I have them blend at least purpose with another Pov-Franconia factor. So point of view and purpose would be brilliant here. You would automatically, or shall we say inevitably, get the point for analyzing this document through point of view, purpose, context, or intended audience if you blend point of view with purpose. The purpose of this cartoon, or rather this painting, is why this document exists. So that's the deal there. Why does this document exist? So the purpose of this painting is to criticize the Sons of Liberty and their taxation protests. And we can tell that the author is very clearly pro-colonist, anti-Sons of Liberty, because the Sons of Liberty themselves look like monsters. The tax collector looks sympathetic by comparison, and they're about to hang the poor soul. So you do those 2 things, folks, you sufficiently prove 2 Pov-Franconia factors there. That's how this works. Now, suppose you wanted to be fully inevitable and get all the stones. I'm going to show you how to get the other 2 Pov-Franconia factors. So the time stone, naturally, the time stone deals with context. Now, a lot of people, especially those just starting out in an AP history class, struggle with what context means. In this situation, folks, context means the document's relationship with a major event. It's either happening before a major event, during a major event, or after a major event. And that's what you end up citing. In all actuality, folks, it's more difficult to get the time stone than it is the soul stone in this situation, because you got to know events and you got to know relationships between seemingly isolated documents and the events themselves. But this document right here, we got pretty well handled. And this is what we got. So in this situation, let's take a look at the evidence here. Sometimes events are mentioned in the document itself. Take a look over at this corner right here. You see a bunch of people dumping tea into Boston Harbor. And as you can tell by the citation here, it's in Boston. So this clearly is not a photograph, it's drawn. And in this situation, you can tell that this is probably painted in response to the Boston Tea Party. How can we tell? Because the Boston Tea Party is depicted in the painting. So that's how we get the time stone. Now let's bring it home, folks. Let's bring it home real quick here. Let's get that last stone so we can complete our gauntlet. The Mind Stone, the intended audience. If you were to take a look at this, and this is where you can tie intended audience back to purpose and even intended audience, or even point of view rather. Who would you guess is supposed to read this? Let me put it this way. This is kind of done for laughs, a little bit. And we can tell it's kind of done for laughs, going back into purpose and point of view, because the Sons of Liberty themselves don't look human. They look like the people on YouTube who allege that I'm torturing my students. And if those people have ever been in my classroom, they know I'm not about that. So instead, we got to tell that this is probably pro-British. Therefore, loyalists, Tories, or people in Britain are the intended audience. And that's how you can tie it back into the purpose and point of view. So This document is most likely intended to be pro-loyalist, pro-Tory, because tying it back to point of view, the author clearly makes the Sons of Liberty look like monsters, so it's clearly not for them. And the purpose of this is to criticize the Boston Tea Party, which we can tell it was written afterwards. So, in that setting, folks, I am happy to say that we have gotten all the stones, absolutely all of the stones. We are ready to do our snap and be done with this document. Now, before I finish this video and send us all back to our homes using the stones here, I do need to clarify some things. You do not or should not need to do this for every single document you're given. Not all 7, not 6, you can do 3. 3 documents of your choice that you can pop for Coney are great. The one thing that can keep you safe in terms of not losing points is, as you use these stones, use as many as you need, as long as it's more than 2. If you want to go for the full gauntlet, folks, if you want to become inevitable, you can fully pop for Coney one of the 3 documents you like, and hopefully this little exercise is helpful to you. Because here's the deal, you only got to get 1. If you do 2 and 1 doesn't work, you still have a chance to win on the other one. And that's how this works, folks. This is a very quick video, folks, or quicker. I could do a whole hour-long video regarding DBQs. I think I should break that down into smaller parts, but I'm very curious to hear what you think. Please let me know in the comments below if you are an AP student, AP history student, what contents of the test, context, thesis, SAQs, DBQs, LEQs, elemental PQs, what do you need? What do you need help with? And feel free to tune in every movie Monday where I provide a new video. Sometimes it's AP US history support, sometimes it's AP Psych support, sometimes it's just fun things you can do with this concept. I teach 2 AP classes, and I'm really passionate about making sure you folks know that there are professional applications to the skills you're developing here. It's not about the test, folks. The test is fun, the test is nice, but there is life after the 2nd week of May. And I'm very curious to get to know more about you. Let me know in the comments what you need, and stay tuned for more AP US history videos and even some other history videos relating to the history of film, comic books, sports, anything you want. I'm a professional historian, so I like to deliver. With that said, be inevitable. Hello again. Thanks for watching that video. With that said, feel free to tune in every movie Monday for new materials, and let me know what you think. I'm absolutely excited to hear your thoughts. Live long and prosper. May the force be with you, and there is no fate but what we make for ourselves.